Hey guys, it's RebeccaOberstadt and welcome to Samhain. Welcome to the last day of October, and you're actually in my bedroom. Let me move these so you can kind of see what I'm sitting in front of. And I'll try and include some pictures of what that is in here as well. Alright, so I just finished this look. This is what I would normally wear if I was going to some sort of gathering or festival or, witch's ball or, outside gathering. So that's what the makeup is. It would have gone up yesterday. But this video is a collab with my friend Amanda Beth, or Miss Blue Lipstick if you follow her on, I think it's Twitter or Instagram that she uses that name. Amanda has a channel. Talked about her many times. You guys can sometimes see her in my comment section or in my live stream chats, but she's pagan like I am, and she used to work in a pagan bookstore, so she's doing her version of this video, and I'm going to be more educational than she is. I talked about jewelry, outfits, and makeup when I did this, so that stuff that'll have gone up yesterday as part of my Halloween series. But my friend Michelle was telling me that I need to do more religious stuff on my channel, talk about it, talk about what I do, what it means, things that I believe, stuff like that. So I figured this is the best time of year because this is the end of our year. I am pagan. I have been pagan since 1991. I got my pagan name in 1991 from my great-grandmother, who was born in Quebec. I didn't get my Native American name until much later because I had to do a lot of training and studying for that. I went through seminary at age 20 and graduated in 2004 with a theological degree, so I am legally an ordained minister. But I also have supported places like Witchbox and witchschool.com and a lot of the educational programs and stuff that are offered for people like me or have beliefs similar to me. So when it comes to paganism as a whole, think of it as like Christianity. With Christianity, you have all of these different branches of the church underneath. You have your Catholics, your Roman Catholics, your Presbyterians, your Methodists, your Lutherans, and so on and so forth. But they're all under Christianity. For pagans, it's pretty much the same thing. You have your Celtic, your Native American, your Alexandrian, you have the people that follow Right or Wade, you have your nature magic people, you have people that believe in light versus dark, there's people that follow green magic, there's Daedric magic, there is all kinds of different deities and stuff that people follow. There's even Norse. I know a friend of mine who does Norse magic, follows all the Norse gods. There's also people that follow Egyptian gods, and some people that follow the Greek gods. So it just depends on what you are drawn to, what your personal beliefs are, with where you fall under the umbrella of paganism. Paganism also encompasses any religion that is not Christian, not Judeo-Christian. So keep that in mind, that Kabbalah and Buddhism and things like that are also considered technically pagan. Not going to debate whether or not they are with you. I just know through my years of education and training what a lot of the teachers and stuff, the books, things like that have said. So I'm just going off of research and education when it comes to that. Now, for this holiday, this day right here, October 31st, it is my favorite holiday of the year for many, many reasons, and we'll get into that later. But what do you call it? Do you call it Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Summer's End, Samhain? Which one do you use? I've always called it Samhain or Halloween. Some people call it All Hallows Eve because All Hallows Day is November 1st, and then of course you've got All Saints Days that the Catholics use to try and convert pagans to their religion, and we won't get into that conversation today. So, what do we do on this holiday besides gather and drink and be merry and dance around a fire circle? This is a very sacred holiday to pagans, especially like me, people that are attuned with other energies, spiritual energies, spirits in particular, people who have passed on, anybody who works with any type of energy type magic. This is a very, very important holiday for us. It's a very special holiday. It's very sacred. This is our culmination of the year. This is where our year stops. So we remember those who have died, those who have passed. And a lot of people are like, oh, you go see a psychic or do a Ouija board. Stay the fuck away from Ouija boards. Just saying, you don't want to let that stuff in. But for me, I bring my great-grandmother and my grandmother to the party. And I remember who they were as people, what they meant to me. My Nana made the bird. My grandmother painted it and fired it. This was also my grandmother's. There's another bird like this. My cousin has it. She refused to give it to me, even though I was asked by my great-grandmother to get both of them and to keep them safe. But she's a stingy bitch. She's probably trashed it by now, but she doesn't realize how important these birds are to me. And for those that don't know, I don't care for birds very much. I like them when they're out in the wild and stuff, but I don't like them when they're caged. And I certainly don't like clipping their wings because, again, they're birds. They're supposed to fly. They don't walk on the ground like you and I do. Or at least hopefully you walk on the ground. Sometimes that's difficult. So, this is my altar. This stays in my room. I've got... What's in my way? Oh, a butterfly's in my way. This is where I keep things like my rocks. Hello? Get back here. She had a piece of rose quartz run off. Okay. It's actually a rose quartz with a rune. My athame is in here. My wand is in here. My snake's skins are in here. My altar cover is in here. I've got a few books in here. Some herbs, candles, of course. And then mementos and stuff that mean something to me. And, of course, your bag o' sage. And I've got rowan wood in here and stuff. And then underneath I have like books and like my box sets of tarot cards that people have bought me over the years, and my Witch Wars manual from witchschool.com. That's down here, along with some of my other like more important books. Where'd you go back in your hole? Why'd you fight with me? I'm not. Thank you. So. This was handmade for me by, I don't know why the light just changed. I look orange. Oh, well, I'm still orange. My friend, Greg Ghosthawk, actually made this for me. Troy, he is an amazing carpenter, and he made it, and his other half painted it. It's all hand painted for me, and I, again, don't know why I'm orange. I don't get a whole lot of light in my room. This is the only window in my room. The sun is out. It's actually right up there. The window blinds are all the way up. So this is as light as it gets, or bright as it gets in my room. So when we're not remembering those who have passed, which there are different things that you can do for that by wearing a piece of jewelry, having a physical object like a memento, or just a thought on your mind of the people that you've either lost that year or people that you've lost in years past, people that you want to remember. Will be brought to the forefront of your mind for this holiday because it's a very energized holiday. The veil is thin. It opens between sundown on the 31st and sunup on the 1st. It's a whole thing where you would see things, if you're sensitive to them, that you wouldn't normally see. You could go to a graveyard and watch spirits literally walk through the graveyard. People that have not rested, people that have not crossed the rainbow bridge, people that have not moved on, or that there's still something here for them to do, or they think there's something here for them to do, so they haven't moved on. So you'll see things like that at like the graveyards and like mass grave sites, or where people have dug up burial sites and built homes on them. You'll see like ghosts walking through your homes and your neighborhoods and stuff like that during this time of year because everything is so thin. Like I said, this is the end of our year. This is where our year dies. It is reborn soon, but this is the end of the year for us. This is our like New Year's celebration. This is our December 31st. Celtic New Year starts November 1st, and this is a very, very, very good time to do any sort of divination, whether it's mirror magic or water magic, where you use the reflective surfaces to divine whatever your intentions are. Very, very good time of year for that. The color for the day is actually brown, not black. So there's that. The incense that you should burn is honeysuckle, and I don't know if I wrote down honeysuckle. Let me check my book. Honeysuckle does a few things. Folklore says that weddings will follow soon after you bring honeysuckle into your home. Placing a posy or a vase of honeysuckle in your bedroom encourages dreams of love and romance. Also, pomegranate is associated with this season, and that one's also used for fertility and love and raunchy stuff. It says honeysuckle is also for people that suffer from nostalgia or who dwell in the past. It's a remedy that enables them to live in the present and look forward to the future. So you've got two different things there. Pomegranate is also associated with the holiday for a fruitful coming year, a fruitful life, fruitful love, fruitful everything. You want to put aside all of the bad from the year and look forward to the new for our coming year. So this year ends the 31st and starts the 1st. So we're looking at getting rid of like past things and not dwelling on past negatives and moving forward with positive energies, hence these honeysuckle and the pomegranate. You want a prosperous year to come. You want those positive energies. You want to bring abundance into your life. So that's why for the honeysuckle and pomegranate. And this book is by Richard Webster. This is Flower and Tree Magic. It's a really handy book. It has all kinds of information in it. I've had it for a number of years. Now, getting into other things, you want to do an ancestor's altar, whatever like fruit that you have that you symbolize with the this time of year. Most people would use a pumpkin. That is actually, it's a gourd, but you know, it's, people consider it a fruit. So you want to set up your altar with, you know, your candles, whichever colors that you have set for either your religion or your path. I was going to pick up candles and totally forgot because I don't have tapers. There's actually holes drilled into the top of this so that I can put candles and stuff on here. But it is what it is. I don't really burn a whole lot of candles unless I'm really doing something serious. This is where our winter begins. Samhain is like the end of our fall and the beginning of our winter. So also keep that in mind, you know, with the year ending for us. This was initially called like Baith for Birch or Lewis for Rowan for like December. Then you have differences between solstices and equinoxes. Like Yule is a solstice, whereas this is an equinox. It's a very, very holy date for us. It's either celebrated on October 31st, November 1st, or whenever the full moon is when we celebrate it. The rest of the world, I mean, it's been marketed as, you know, a day for candy for kids and whatever. So they always do, you know, the Thursday before Halloween. Why? I have no idea. Why freaking Thursday? Why do they do Thanksgiving always on, you know, a Thursday or whatever? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Some people pronounce Samhain, Samhain, or Samhain, or some people pronounce it Samhain. Eek. So there's that. This is also considered Ancestors' Night or Feast of the Dead. You want to lay out a plate for your loved ones or a plate in remembrance of your loved ones. Leave it empty. Don't put anything on it. You can put a memento by the place serving. If you do like have a sit-down dinner, always leave an empty plate so that your loved ones can visit with you and you can you should be able to feel their energies. If you are at all sensitive to energies at all, you will know that they're there. And if you don't feel anything, it's perfectly okay. Not everybody is sensitive to it. Some people get completely freaked out by it. It's normal. It's okay. Your family's just trying to show you they love you. Don't freak out. Don't like throw things at them and do crosses and weird, you know, stuff you would see in the movies. It doesn't work that way. This is the time of year when you want to let shit go. This is the time of the year when you want to settle all differences. And I'm sitting on the floor on two pillows and I have my foot underneath me and it hurts. I'm too tall to be sitting on the floor like I was. So, when it comes to like letting things go, what I mean is if people have done you wrong during the year, and I've got a few on my list this year, this is the time of the year when you either want to write them off or tell them to go with themselves or whatever, but you want to like let that thought process go. You want to let that negative energy go and you want to focus on the abundance coming for the new year or what positive energies you can bring into the new year. By letting go of your past difficulties, you will allow yourself to open up for more acceptance and more openness when it comes to the new year. And with 2020 being the year that it has been, oh boy, do we not have a list. I think everybody has a list this year. It's currently 5 in the morning and I'm editing this. Something woke me up at like 3 o'clock. I forgot to say that in this time frame of the year, writing down all the things, and I do get into some other topics similar to this in just a minute. Writing down your intentions, writing down all the negative things for this year, writing your list out of people that have transgressed you for this time of year. What I recommend doing is some sort of if you have like a transgression spell that you want to work on, or you can write something simple like you write their name on a piece of paper, and of course if you have a candle or like a little cauldron or a fire going or something, you can say something like, this person, and of course you say their name, and you hold the paper so that you know your intentions are there, and handwrite it. Don't like print it out on a computer or something. Handwrite it and put your intentions. This is going to be spell work. Put your intentions and thought process onto that piece of paper as you're doing each name. And some people only have one or two names, some people have a whole list. Take that, put on it what transpired, put on it what happened, put on it the negative effects and the negative things that went on with that. And then by burning that, you know, you fold it up, you toss it in the fire, or you light it on fire and you let it burn until it's ash. What you're doing is a physical form of release. You are letting that transgression go. So by burning that piece of paper with somebody's name on it, you are releasing that person out of your mind in your intention. Make sure that your energy is neutral. You don't toss negative energy onto the paper. Try not, when you think about what happened, think about it in a neutral footing. Don't go at it as, well, this person did this and this person did that and this is how they made me feel. And don't be aggressive about it. You need to be firm in your belief when it comes to what happened, but you also need to realize that, okay, this person did this person did this. Do it like a shopping list kind of thing. Say, and because of this, this, and this, I would like to release myself from this person or this person's energy or this person's actions towards me. And then you burn that piece of paper with their name written on it, and it releases you and your thought process, and it gives you a physical affirmation that you have let that transgression go. So hopefully that also makes sense. I get into dream versions and stuff to do before bed here in just a minute, but I wanted to tell you that spell work can be super simple. All it is a thought, an intention, frame of mind. And again, when you're doing any form of spell work, doing things out of anger is not a good thing. You want to stay neutral. You want to stay even keeled, because if you let emotions get involved, then there's other ramifications that can come from writing somebody's name down on a piece of paper and burning it. Other things can happen negatively towards that person. So remember to stay neutral when you do that, unless you want to send some bad mojo their way, and then, you know, usually you just let karma handle it, and a threefold law. But again, I would recommend writing their names out first, and then one by one, as you pull a name, think about the things, and then light it on fire and let it burn till it's no more. My brother just sneezed. So that way you are releasing that. And by writing the names out first, any negativity that you might have had writing those names out, hopefully would have dissipated by the time that you wrote it and then got set up and did whatever ceremony that you do. Always make sure you have your protection circle up, because you don't want nasties getting in while you're doing some sort of releasing, because some things like to feed on negative energy. So keep that in mind as well. And if you need more in-depth on minimalistic things that you can do for a quick, short ritual, what preparation steps that you need to do, protections you need to keep in place, certain things I would recommend, let me know and I can film that as well. So back to the video. You also want to throw away like old ideas and old thought processes. This is the time where you grow as a human. You want to move forward as a human and propel yourself into a better mindset, a better way of thinking, a better being. Try and think about the things that you've done. Reflect this day. Reflect on all of the shit, and look at what other people have done and things that piss you off, and look at yourself and see if you do any of those things, because maybe there's things that you do that set other people off. This is the day that you want to reflect on those and make a conscious decision to change those actions. Every year we grow as a human. Every year we grow as a person. So this is the time of the year when you want to set those goals. You want to move forward with yourself and your personal growth. Don't lay stagnant and not unchanging. You want to change. You need to grow. Everybody has something they can improve. So this is the day that you want to think about that and see what needs to be changed. And when you go to bed at night, I want you to replay those things in your mind and think about everything that was on your list and think about what you could do to change those things. And then when you go to bed, replay all of that stuff in your mind so it's fresh on your mind. You will probably have some wicked dreams that night, but when you wake up in the morning, you might, most likely, hopefully, fingers crossed, will have a new perspective on things and will have the understanding that you need to move forward to make those changes. So that's something that, you know, a lot of people don't always have, and this is the time of the year to do it. It really is. The woods that are associated, I already talked about one wood, which I keep in my altar, because rowan is a very sacred wood for pagans. But birch, my grandmother always kept birch logs in the fireplace, and I used to get yelled at for pulling pieces off the birch because they were kind of neat to peel. Because I'd never seen tree bark that peeled like that. I mean, we don't really have birch here in Florida. My grandmother grew up in Boston, so, I mean, she was born in Canada, but she grew up in Boston. So they have stuff like that where it gets, you know, that sprinkly white cold crap. We don't get that here. So birch is actually a tree for fertility and new life. We usually make broomsticks out of it, and when we do broomstick jumping, which is really fun, by the way, I recommend that over fire jumping because that can get very dangerous. We do that as well. You also want to have like a twig of birch with your like a significant other or even a best friend. In Norse mythology, Freya was considered the lady of the forest. Birch was one of her trees. It was a sacred tree. In Russia, birch is actually called the lady of the forest as well, but not the word Freya. It is also used as the wood of preference in sweat lodges and saunas. It stimulates circulation and also drives away evil spirits and encourages things to leave, which is why my grandmother always kept birch logs in the fireplace we never used to keep shit out of the house. She was one smart lady. The next wood that is also associated with this October and November is rowan. Rowan is also considered mountain ash. It also is protection from what people used to think protection from witchcraft. Newsflash! It doesn't protect against witchcraft. It actually is a very sacred tree to us. Very, very powerful, very sacred, very old. Y'all are stupid. They are usually near stone circles, like things like Stonehenge and stuff like that. You would expect to see them there, or there's a few places in Ireland and Scotland that I can think of that have stone circles that usually have rowan trees very close by, because again, they're very, very sacred trees, especially to the Druids. They're sacred trees. Don't chop them the fuck down. Don't pick leaves off of them. Don't cuss at them. Ask permission before you hug them. They're very sacred trees. So, they also offer protection from lightning, because you figure people like me, we go to stone circles, we do circles, we play out in the elements and stuff like that, and I hope to also be hit by lightning before I die. It's on my bucket list of things to do, but it also helps protect against lightning, so the tree would be struck before any followers would in the stone circle, so that's also a bonus. It brings very good luck. They are centuries for like protection against ghosts and spirits, so that's another reason why they are by sacred sites. It also protects, like, it creates like a barrier of sorts to keep negative energies out of certain areas. If boats are made with them, it gains protection from the wood against the water. So if you're in a boat made of rowan, that most likely you're not going to have issues with it, like capsizing or sinking. I mean, of course, eventually it will sink, but you know, it does have some protective qualities for that. In the Scandinavian mythology, it helped Thor cross the river, and they call it Thor's helper. Or, I mean, if you use my terminology, it would be Norse magic, not just Scandinavian, but, you know, whatever. Crosses made from it are used for protection of animals. You would find them outside of, like, pigsties and inside barns and stuff like that. It's also used to protect babies. Rowan is, like I said, it's a very powerful wood. It's a very sacred tree. Crosses made from rowan and birch are usually placed either at the front door, by the front door, over the front door, inside, outside, both places. You will find a rowan or a birch cross placed somewhere nearby a threshold to an entrance to a dwelling. It also serves as protection. The rowan crosses were also placed by seed beds to protect the harvest, which, you know, you figure the harvest moon is what, September, so most likely harvest and stuff would have already been happening or already been done, but it also protects the grounds from being fallow and protects them from or for a fruitful harvest for the following year. Let's see. Rowan berries are also used in jewelry making. It's a kind of like juniper berries, but they dry them and they use them as decoration for jewelry. It's also supposed to be one of those like wards for an evil eye, which, you know, negative magic. For the path I follow, I'm actually Celtic, and I've got a number of Celtic. This was an awesome book. This is A Circle Within from Diane Sylvan. I've got a bunch of like almanacs here from Llewellyn. There's a Stellar Day. I've got a Witch's Date book here, my planetary guide. But a lot of my following, my pack is Celtic and Native American. I follow both. Alright, I'm getting up off this floor. It's killing my back. Alright, I moved the camera up so you can see me up here better. I'm sitting on my altar. Our Celtic calendar lasts for 13 months instead of 12. Again, it ends October, starts November 1st. The birth of our year actually happens on Yule, so this time of year is like our dead part of the year until Yule. And then I only had a couple more notes. Birch is also used for determination. Reed is also associated with the month of October. It's used for order, purpose, direction. They also call it Negatal, so you can look it up either as Reed or Negatal. But that's basically all I had for you for today. I'm already at like 30 minutes here. But for me, when I celebrate Samhain, I always try and go outside. Usually we do a fire in the backyard. I hug a tree a few times. For me, trees are like the life force of the world. They provide energy, shade, somewhere to sleep. They house animals. They provide food. Trees are very sacred to me. So when I lost 6 trees earlier in the year, I literally stood in the front yard and cried. Trees are very special to me. I'm the weirdo that you would see dressed like this halfway up a tree, 20 something feet off the ground, because I feel safe in a tree. My holiday usually is talking to my grandmother or my great-grandmother. It is thinking back on all the good things that we did, all the things that they taught me, all the things that they've taught me since they've died, the dreamscapes that we've done, the dream journeys that I've been on, the training that I have had through like astral projection or just dream walking, just the things that I've learned from those women. It's astounding. And the fact that my mom shunned all of this stuff, every book that she ever found of mine that was pagan, she like burned, like literally would take the trash out in the backyard and set it on fire after she put the books in it. My mom was very anti anything not Christian. My dad, on the other hand, was she took several of his books and burned them as well. So my dad's like me. This is a very sensitive time of year for me. I get very emotional this time of year. It's very, like, the day that I'm filming this, which is October 28th, my daughter was born on this day. She was actually due October 31st. That wasn't planned. She was not planned. I was on birth control when I got pregnant with her. She was a complete fucking surprise. I woke up the morning after and I knew I was pregnant. So, yeah. My projected due date was between October 31st and November 2nd. And because I have to have C-sections due to my health and my size and other health conditions that I have, we scheduled the C-section for the 31st, but then there was conflict with the hospital, so we ended up having to move it forward to the 28th, and I went into labor on the 28th anyway, so it didn't really matter. She came a couple days early. I would have been more than happy to have a Halloween baby, and I think it would have been awesome to have a Halloween baby. It's my sacred holiday. It is very special to me. It means a lot. It puts me in immense pain this holiday puts a huge toll on my body with all of the energies that are surrounding everything, all the energies that are flowing through the air and just flying around willy-nilly. This is like a very, very hard time of year for me. It brings up a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, and I reflect on those every year, and I try and grow as a person every year. Every year I learn something new. Every year I do something different. Every year I change something. This is the time to do it. This is the time to put your heart out into the world, to put your energies out into the world. Go outside, dig your feet in the dirt, hold your arms up, and just breathe. This is your time to just sit and just let it soak in. It doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime, the full moon is out, it doesn't matter. I keep hearing truck noises. I don't like it. Anyways, this is the time of the year when you reconnect. Your connection to nature should fuel your body. It should propel you forward. It should encourage you for new growth for the coming year. I know a lot of people think most pagans and Wiccans and witches or stuff are vegan. Most of us are not. Most of us eat some sort of animal product or animal byproduct. I honestly, for my health, could never go vegan or even vegetarian because I have to have, there's certain things I can't eat, and so I have to have some form of protein, and chicken is it. I usually stick with chicken. Very rarely do I do red meat. So I figured I'd bring that up at this. I am not a vegetarian. I am not a vegan. I am a tree-hugging dirt worshiper for sure. I do not believe in animal cruelty, but I also believe that animals have a purpose here. We've been eating animals since the beginning, since we were, one tribe on Pangea. We as people have the ability to eat and digest meat. We are omnivores for a reason. So I feel that eating animals for me is not an unhealthy choice. I'm not doing it to be cruel to animals. I'm doing it to survive. So when it comes to like hunting and stuff, I'm completely against that unless you use every stitch of the damn animal. And I'm talking antlers, fur, leather, meat, everything. You use every bit of that animal. I have a friend that passed away a few years ago from cancer. His name was Victor. He would they would go hunting and bring home elk and deer and things like that. And he would even make jewelry out of the bones. So, I mean, he literally used every stitch, and he was 100% Native American, Native American path, Native American religion, Native American beliefs. Learned amazing things from that man. If you ever want to learn about another form of like paganism or witchcraft, follow Selena Fox. I have met her in person. She's an amazing human. She actually just had a birthday the other day, and she's getting on there in years, but she is so knowledgeable when it comes to especially this holiday. So she's doing a bunch of stuff on Instagram. I will leave her link down below, as well as my friend Amanda. Hopefully this answers some general questions on what Samhain is, what we believe, what the things are that are associated with the holiday, why. And I didn't even get into the carving a pumpkin thing, which technically back in Europe they carved turnips and not pumpkins. They were to ward off spirits. I didn't get into any of that stuff. That stuff you can find on YouTube. There's other videos on that. But when it comes to a witch's perspective on a Wiccan holiday or on a pagan holiday, here you go. This is me. And I'm more than what you usually see on this channel. I'm a whole lot more. I mean, I got bookcases full of all kinds of books. I love history. I love reading. I love learning new things. So, I mean, if you guys like this type of content, let me know. Leave a comment down below. I know this is a long one, but we get kind of deep. I get a little emotional. I cry a little bit. But anyways, I will see you guys later. I am Rebecca Oberstadt. Hopefully you all are having a fantastic day or night wherever you are. I'm sending love and light to everybody. Blessed be.